like, I always be asking my friends, like, do y'all feel like the value of women to guys have went down, or guys just don't, respect us, appreciate us how they used to back in the 80s and the 90s? Like, women control like, literally, because I could say this now, but I only say that because of status. Like, we making hella money just like these. But as far as a man literally worshiping the ground a woman walk on, it's kind of rare these days. We're running out of that. And it's kind of scary in society today. And I don't know, I might piss a lot of people off talking about this, but it's just conversations I be having with my friends. But guys don't appreciate us. I don't know what it is. This might be just something I talk about on maybe the first topic I talk about on my podcast, because I don't know. It's just a little weird these days. It's like we got to fight for a spot in these lives, or they want to put, I don't know. I'm going to shut up. I'm going to save this for my podcast, because I know I got a podcast coming out here. We all about to be acting normal. I got a podcast coming. Stay tuned. But yeah, I don't know. That's going to be the first topic I talk about, though, because it's real different out here. But we do run the world for sure. We control the world. I feel like the reason it's spinning. Women are taking over day by day. And that's just all I'm going to say for now.
Okay, so guys, welcome to Little Black Book 91. We're giving you guys a quick impromptu live. It won't be a very long one, but we're going to be talking about this particular issue. I've been speaking about this actually for the last week or so, and I'm saying to you, like, listen, no man should worship any woman. Okay, no man should be worshiping any woman. I don't want to hear this term of men are worshiping women. No, we're not going to do that. Okay, listen, it's not going to happen. When it does happen, it only creates problems. I used that term some weeks back and put a ring on it, and people were saying, like, what's worship? And I was saying to you, this is what we mean. This term worship, that some people feel like they need to be worshipped, it's wrong. Okay, I'm not about to worship you. You're not about to worship me either. We don't need to worship anybody but God himself. Jesus Christ is Lord, and that's the only person that needs worship. You and I do not need worship. Okay? We can appreciate one another, respect one another, adorn one another, but we're not going to worship one another. We're not going to put each other as an idol to the other person. You are not my circumference of my world. You are in my world, but I don't revolve around you. I don't revolve around you like you're the sun and I'm the earth. That's not what happens. So we're going to talk a little bit about this as we go. So if you're new to the channel, do me a massive, massive favor. Like it, share, subscribe. Click on the bell button for notification of the uploads for those of you who are returnees. We appreciate it as well. You got the minerals. You got the minerals. Stay hydrated. All right, cool. Listen, so we're talking about this situation, and I really want to bring this in because I think when I watched the video, I was like, whoa. We don't want men to be in any position. Listen to me very carefully. We don't want any man in any position of worship. Okay? Men, the moment you enter to a space of worship, you are asking to be sacrificed. No man should be in a space of worship. It's that simple. Okay? No woman is worth worship. No man is worth worship. But let me specifically talk for men. We don't want you to be on this one. Okay, and the reason why I'm banging on about this is I don't want it to make it into a man or woman situation. I want to really hone in on what language is being used here, right? Let me just quickly go back to the start of this, right? And I want to be very specific so you understand where I'm coming from.
And lately, like, I always be asking my friends, like, do y'all feel like the value of women to guys have went down, or guys just don't, respect us, appreciate us how they used to back in the 80s and the 90s, like.
Pause. If she had left it there, perfect example, right? It would have been great. Do men not respect and honor and appreciate women like they used to? That's a good conversation to stick on to, right? And the language is really important. The reason why I say language is important is because oftentimes the language guides our behavior, right? So sometimes someone might say, that's not what I really meant. But when you use certain language, it guides your behavior also. It starts to maneuver your behavior in that direction. Also, the other person has a task of trying to decipher what you really mean and what you're really saying, and then they're going to respond to that in a particular way. So I had no issue with the beginning of this conversation. What are men respecting or honoring women as they used to? Hey, that could be discussed. Whether you agree or disagree makes no difference, because it's a good open conversation. It's a good question to ask, right? It's cool. It's when she gets to the next part that it becomes problematic.
Like, women control the, like, literally, you know, because I can say this now, but I only say that because of status. Like, we making hella money just like these. But as far as a man literally worshiping the ground a woman walk on, it's kind of rare these days. We're running out of that.
Now, why the frick am I going to worship the ground that you walk on? Why am I going to worship the ground that you walk on? Are you God? And this, you see, similar enough, this how men have this kind of complex of wanting women to literally fall at the knees and just bow down. There are some women in this world too who just want a man to literally bow down at their knees, have a dog tag around their neck, and have a chain attached to them and walk with them along the road. Like, you don't want a man in a space where he is literally worshiping the ground that you walk on. And I say this because what happens is it doesn't come from respect. When you're dealing with human beings, amongst human beings, you know, when it gets to a point of that place where you worship the ground somebody works on, that no longer constitutes to be about healthy boundaries and actually about respect of one another. Both women and men, in human terms, are equal. In terms of gender roles, no. But in terms of as human beings, we are equal. Thus, respect is shown in different ways, but respect is still given. Either way, we don't worship one another, right? That becomes a very quick power dynamic in any relationship, right? And maybe she didn't fully mean it in that particular way. Maybe she meant in a different way. But now that message is out there, now people are going to respond to you in a particular way, you know? And again, you know, using that worship term, it's almost like put me in my place term. Some people say, I don't mean a man to manhandle me, but put me in my place. And I keep saying, you have to understand the language of words and what it does. To the simpleton, this is going to mean something else. Of course, to us who can think a bit more deeply, we'll look beyond what you're saying. But the most of the men are simpletons. No offense to my men's, but every offense meant. You know what I mean? Like, we're simpletons. We take it as it is. We ain't trying to go deep with what you're saying. You just said you want us to worship you. All right, cool. Old chick out here is tripping. She's definitely tripping because she wants me to worship her. You're right. Me worship you for what? And I can say the same thing for any man, any woman out there. You better not. You better not worship somebody, man or woman. You better not worship somebody. That's how they abuse you. That's how they take advantage of you. That's how they use you anyhow and any way. Right? In what worship is described and only ascribed for something that is a deity, something that is bigger, stronger, and more than I am. So we should not be using that term amongst ourselves. Although we know in the old times, you know, in UK, we know that, you know, they might call the judge your worship, right? But yeah, you know, Monique said she chases rappers. Worshipping to her means fancy cars and designer bags and maybe a baby or two. Damn. I hope not. I hope not. I hope not. You know, let's just listen to the last part of it before.
And it's kind of scary in society today. And I don't know, I might piss a lot of people off talking about this, but it's just conversations I be having with my friends. But guys don't appreciate us. I don't know what it is. This might be just something I talk about on my, maybe the first topic.
And again, you know, I can agree with this part too, right? In terms of having respect, you know, we want that, you know, we want to see that, you know, about the respect part, of course. I think this is also important, to have. I read some of the comments as well. I hope I'm not going to bait people's comments out. I apologize about that. I want to get baited out. Someone put a comment which was interesting. Said, obviously, if you require nothing, expect nothing, and your standards see the bare minimum is a simulacrum. A simulacrum of what love is. It is unlikely that you will be adored, respect, and loved the way you like. Women naturally submit to men that serve them. If a man isn't of service to you, e.g., making your life easier, creating safe space for you to thrive in your feminine majority of the time, yet you continue to reward him with your energy, it's unlikely that he will respect you. And without respect, there is no love, no service, and adoration. I love that point. I think it's a great point by Edwina Wegina, which is talking about the fact that, about giving your energy to people that don't deserve your energy, right? Of course, I believe everyone should have standards. We don't want you to be bare minimum. We just don't want God complexes. Yeah, from both men and women, we don't want God complexes. That's what we don't want. We don't want any God complex in this situation. But I totally get her point about having respect, and that commanding respect from us as men as well. I said this before. If you have good boundaries, if you're confident, you believe in yourself, you know what you want, you know what you need, right? Then when we come to you, you can decipher whether we're on something good or we're on something bad. It's tight, someone made a good point. Someone made a point note on her page and said, I think it's also the type of men she goes for. No one should expect a rapper to take them seriously. Look at their lifestyle. I honestly think Jada should just get a regular man with money that's not in the same industry as her. Hey, you know, another person said, I feel like she needs to speak for herself. She obviously deals with industry men, which comes with its own consequences. There are plenty of men that don't know how to treat a woman, which is sad, but there are also plenty of men that will worship the ground you walk on, cherish you, and pick your poison. Again, that terminology, nobody's worshiping the ground, but I hear what you're saying. The reality is standards have been out the window for most women, and it's only going to get worse with my generation, Gen Z. I think a lot of women are too ashamed to admit they need men. Men have a purpose or role, and many men are intimidated by women who do have standards and hold them to them as well. And someone said, finally, this is coming from a woman that says it's okay for a man to cheat on her. Oh Lord, they're doing bits. All right, cool. Listen, yeah, it's a bit mad. It's a bit mad. What I would say is, listen, what I would say is this, yeah. The generation that we're in, we have a lot more information, okay? We have a lot more information at hand to make decisions. The key thing here is, do you hold up your own standards? That's the key thing, The key thing to this is, do you hold up your own standards? Will you hold your own standards? And will you submit to your own standards? Will you make sure that you uphold the rules that you have for yourself? Because those are the things that protect you. And when you don't do it, you betray yourself and you feel angry at yourself because you betrayed yourself. Don't betray yourself. And for men out there, you need to make sure that you are not being passive and worshiping women because you just want to keep this girl because she's so beautiful to you, or you know what, her stuff don't stink, and so you want to keep her. Bro, you need to get some balls now, straight, and listen. And getting balls does not mean being aggressive. It means being assertive. There's a big difference between assertion and being aggressive. The assertion doesn't need to be aggressive. The assertion is to let the person know, I don't do this. This is my boundary. Where you're going doesn't need to be. This is where I stand. This is my position that I hold. These are my viewpoints. Take it, leave it, honor it, disrespect it. Either way, this is my viewpoint, whether you like it or not. Being assertive, letting people know what position you're in and where you're standing and where you're going to, is not aggression. There's a huge difference. Learn the difference between the two. Okay? Learn the difference between the two. That's me done for today, guys. I appreciate you guys. Stay locked and stay loaded. Maybe we'll see you guys a little bit soon, a little bit later on today. Appreciate you guys.